Welcome to Monday's Financial News Review powered by Centefx, a multi-regulated Forex broker. Stay tuned as we bring you the latest market news and insights.
Last Friday, Amazon plunged 8.3%, closing at $214.75, after its cloud division reported slower growth of 18%, falling behind rivals such as Microsoft and Google. The Australian stock market index traded at around $8,600 on Monday, extending losses from the previous week and tracking the sell-off on Wall Street. U.S. gasoline futures traded at a one-week low of around $2.10 per gallon, as global supply continues to rise while demand concerns persist. The Australian dollar strengthened to around 65 cents on Monday, extending gains from the previous session, as market sentiment remained upbeat following Australia's exemption from the latest round of U.S. tariff hikes. Bitcoin traded at around $114,000, increasing by 1.5% in the last 24 hours. The gain was fueled by renewed institutional buying and exchange-traded fund optimism. Now let's review the major economic events of the day. At 7 a.m., Turkey to release the annual inflation rate for July, following 35% in June. At 12 p.m., the Consumer Confidence Index in Mexico is expected to increase, after reaching 45.4 in June. At 2 p.m., the U.S. will release figures for the factory orders of June, following 8.2% in May. Tomorrow's major economic events. At 12:30 p.m., Canada to release the balance of trade for June, following a trade deficit of almost 6 billion Canadian dollars in May. At 12:30 p.m., the balance of trade in the U.S. is expected to increase, after reaching a trade deficit of $75 billion in May. At 2 p.m., the U.S. will release figures for the Services Purchasing Managers Index of July, following 50.8 in June.
And that's it for today's Market News Roundup, presented by Centefx. Thanks for joining us today, and be sure to tune in again tomorrow for more financial news. We wish you a productive trading week.